Hail to the old great and mighty Liam Neeson, the king of underrated films. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 97. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, my friends, it is that time again for another top 10 list that I gotta start all over again for. Yes, ladies and dudes, I will admit I'm finally gonna do that top 10 list at long last for all of you. And since everybody's concerned about what is my most favorite top 10 best Liam Neeson films of all time. And I will admit, ladies and dudes, yes, I am still a big fan of the old great and mighty Liam Neeson, even to this day. And the best part about his greatest films that he ever made, I hate to say it, they are so darn underrated. And there is a whole lot of underrated films to be found. And most of all, screw the Schindler's List. The Schindler's List is the only movie that is so darn overrated. It's not because of the old great mind Liam Neeson, it's because of Steven Spielberg. It's him that made this film happen, so screw that movie! Bye-bye, Schindler's List. We will never ever see you ever again for the rest of our darn lives. But let's go on to the films that are pretty darn underrated to me. And like I said, there's a whole lot of underrated films to be found. There's a whole lot of good action thrilling films, and a few comedy films, sadly less romance films, and really cool dark edgy moment films. And also, my most favorite part about the old great by Liam Neeson films that I love the best, well, three things. One, Liam Neeson did play so many cool bad A-word characters that we will never forget in movie history. Two, he's the only actor I know who has fantastic near endings that I can enjoy from a couple of his films here and there. And most of all, my third final reason I love the Liam Neeson films the best is the score. It's the score that made these wonderful films happen, if you know what I mean. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my two-part event of my top 10 best Liam Neeson films of all time. And plus, there's going to be only two movies I know that deserves to be a tie. Just a tie. One for the number 10 spot, and the other goes for number 1. So beware of that while I'm doing this list. So, let's get this whole thing started. Coming at number 10 goes to a tie between The Unknown and Darkman. I can't tell which film do I like the best. Do you like a story about this dude named Dr. Martin Harris who's trying so hard to find a way to get his life back and try to get his wife back from this unknown dude who is known as the fake Dr. Martin Harris? Or is it the other film where Liam Neeson played this unknown monster named Darkman who is trying to rescue his girlfriend from a couple of those evil dudes who really did ruin his life at the very beginning of the film? Well, anyway, to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I really do love both of them, and I can't tell which one I like the best. And sadly, yes, these two movies do have a few flaws. One flaw that involves where we didn't see Dr. Martin Harris carry a gun. That really darn sucks. And we never got to see a sex scene between Darkman in his human form with his girlfriend Julie. I don't know what the heck those directors were thinking back then, cutting off so many important things that we need to see in these two underrated films. So yeah, they deserve to be a tie at the number 10 spot. Coming at number 9 goes to the Les Miserables, the 1998 version. And yes, ladies and dudes, I will admit there's a whole lot of versions of Les Miserables. But the only ones I remember the best is this film, the one that came from in the year of 2010 for the 25th anniversary edition of Les Miserables. And the last one is the 2012 one that featured our dear beloved Hugh Jackman. But I think this one is the most underrated one out of all of them. I guess nobody had never talked about this one. I will say it had a good storyline. It has some good likable characters. The first half is truly my most favorite part about this film, where Jean Valjean's journey is about to begin, to become a good guy and do a lot of great and positive things for himself and try to get away from that evil Chavel dude as soon as he can. Well, if you guys remember my major flaw with this film, I had a problem with the actor who played Chavel. I will say he was okay in the film, but my major problem is his voice. His voice is a bit too soft for the character. I wish they should have chose Alan Rickman for the role and not the guy who is in the Pirates of the Caribbean saga, if you know what I mean. So, it deserves to be at number 9. And I got a big giant surprise for all of you, ladies and dudes. Coming at number 8 goes to Liam Neeson's latest film that came from this year called The Commuter. Are you surprised that this movie finally made it to my top 10 list? Oh yeah, I freaking love this film. At least the old great to mighty Liam Neeson has finally played a much better character named Michael. Much better than the awful Michael that came from third person, if you know what I mean. I will say this is a much better Michael that the old great to mighty Liam Neeson have ever played. And yeah, speaking of Michael, it was based by his son's name. And also, one of the most famous Irish people of all time, that I will tell you about that in just a couple of moments. But yes, I freaking love Commuter. It had a good storyline, good likable characters. I freaking love the action scenes. And it had a really cool score too. But my most favorite part about this movie, and you guys need to pay attention to this film very, very carefully, it does have a few hidden Easter eggs that I found in a couple of scenes here and there, including with the old great my Liam Neeson wearing glasses. Yes, I will admit, the glasses is one of the biggest hidden Easter eggs that you need to find in this film. After all, Liam Neeson did play a character who does wear glasses. Well, find out for yourself if you know what I mean. So yeah, The Commuter made it to my top 10 list at the number 8 spot. And like I said about this Michael guy, coming at number 7 goes to Michael Collins. And here's an interesting fun fact you should know about this movie. This is one of Liam Neeson's most favorite films of all time. I'm serious, ladies and dudes. This is his most favorite film that he have ever made in his career. And truly one of the most underrated films ever in American history. Yeah, if I remember right, this movie is pretty darn popular in the Europe area, but it's pretty darn underrated here in America, and nobody never talks about this film. I like this film much better than The Schindler's List. And also, ladies and dudes, about this movie, it does have another good underrated actor we all cared and loved for. And this is the very first time that Liam Neeson did work with this guy, and that is our dear beloved Alan Scary Rickman. Yep, Alan Rickman did make it to this film, and he did play a good supporting character. But it's a sad shame that we lost him 2 years ago. I really do miss Alan Rickman so much, and I wish that he and Liam Neeson should have worked together again in their third film. But sadly, it didn't make it. That's a sad shame, don't you think? So yeah, I have nothing else to say about Michael Collins. but it deserves to be at number 7. And finally, at number 6 goes to Run All Night. And this is a pretty darn cool, underrated classic that we will never forget in movie history. And it's a very good, tragic father and son story where Jimmy, the main character, is trying to protect Michael from those evil villains. One is his boss, and the other is some type of unknown assassin that came out of nowhere. Yeah, this story is pretty darn cool. I do like the characters, and I really love the score. And it did have a very tragic ending. Yeah, it's a pretty darn sad shame, but I'm not going to spoil it for all of you if you guys haven't seen this movie, this great underrated film. Yeah, it deserves to be at number 6. And I'll be back for a couple of minutes as I tell you about my last top 5 best Liam Neeson films of all time. So please don't go away.